think there's a practice to be had of not basing your value and your self-worth on how well you're doing in your career or how good your work is. There's like a way to love it and kill for it and die for it and do everything for it, but find your value for yourself as a person outside of it.
You have to be the leader of the set. Yeah. Whatever that personality is that you have. I do it with a lot of humor. I'm a mom. Sometimes I talk to you like a mother. Sometimes I may talk to you like you're my husband. You know, I'm a woman. I have lots of different ways. I have to go through life dealing with lots of different things, and I don't care what I need to pull out a hat to deal with this situation and get what I need to make it the best project. And I tell women that all the time. You don't have to be a man in there. You just need to just pull out every facet of who you are to get what you need. You don't have to go in there and be a guy. You know, at the beginning of my career, especially as a female director, I never wanted to get in a situation where they're like, yeah, but can she do this? So very early on, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this hospital show. They do, it's mostly handheld kind of stuff I haven't done before. Great. Oh, I'm gonna do that cop show. I just wanted to have all these different skill sets. And all of those things did build to shows like Winning Time.
That was the challenge of television, because I'd never done television before, was like, how do you keep on surprising ourselves, and how do we make a style that's experimental not become its own like paint by numbers thing, you know? So we like designed Winning Time especially to be allowed to grow and change and have new paintbrushes depending on different characters' backstories. And like we would look at each script and say like, oh, there's a scene in 1960, cool, let's create a new look for 1960. Or in the episode that I directed, DGA.
Drop the mic, yeah.
It was like Larry Bird's backstory was like an opportunity to create a brand new look for the show and a new aesthetic. But that's because the show kind of like created those rules. What we were having trouble doing is, it's such a big machine with so many moving parts, those basketball days. We were having trouble getting the thing to move at an efficiency of both like logistics and creative. And so we hadn't figured out the rehearsals. We hadn't figured out all the prep work. Really, we've been trying it, but we hadn't gotten it there. And it took someone like Salli to come in with like that force and that
I'm moving.
Yeah, that momentum. Because I can move very fast and I can keep it all in my head, but I need a partner who can also move the ship like that. So I think we needed the two of us to come in and say like you were saying, I know this is a huge scenario with all these moving parts, but actually it comes down to just very small moving parts and just like a lot of little mini things that need to get taken care of. And I think the two of us are just detailed.
We're two jackrabbits. We're like
the energy is insane.
Like... So it started with, I mean, literally in the script it says
like one line.
It's like and both teams, you know,
both teams play an entire championship and
coming as they come together for the playoffs.
Yeah, Bird and Magic come together. We're like, okay, well,
that's it.
We're like, that's going to cost like $1 million.
Yes, and they're right.
You're just like, that's a whole season of basketball.
That'll cost $5 million. Yeah. And they have to play all these different teams, and we've done so much basketball, and we're like, how do we do this? Like, what do we do? And I think it started with, I said, I just feel like, I remember coming up going, it's like this revolving thing that will connect.
Yeah.
And
you had an instinct that they would connect.
Yeah, and it just felt, and then it kind of started there.
Because the script said that they're connected. But then it was like us kind of figuring out, like, what if they're playing with even though they're not playing the same game, what if they're playing with each other?
Yeah.
What if they're passing to each other? And what if the two teams are sort of having the identical experiences and it's like spinning and wrapping and everything? And so then you start talking about how to do it.
1, 2, 3, kill! Celtics on 3! 1, 2, 3, Celtics!